Good morning, everyone. Hey, wanted to do a quick video for you guys. Want to give credit where credit's due. A lot of great changes have come in this game. A lot of the frustrations, a lot of players are starting to get quite a bit relieved. Great idea with the VIP portal and the rollout and what have you. It's been a lot of good changes. I know that with the VIP, I know I've heard anywhere from 480 to 600 pulls to 6-star the new hero. And that's what this video is about. So let's get at it. So let's see what we got here. There he is. Let's talk about Alrakis Skullkeeper. So this is a caster dragon. No real synergies or anything with Furno. So the whole dragon family synergy thing that I know a lot of people were hoping for didn't quite happen. But there is one ability that's very similar to sharing with Furno. So now let's go over some of his passive abilities. All right, so first off, Silence Immune cannot be silenced. So if you're going to put Foresight runes on him, and I do not suggest it, you could use one less because you don't have to worry about silence. All in all, I do not think Foresight runes on him is a good idea at all. I do not suggest them at all. Born of Chaos, this hero has boosted Chaos reduction. Not very many people are using Chaos runes yet, and so, and even in the PvE content, you can beat all those dungeons with just using mass haste tactics. So I think that's a kind of a moot point. Not alone. Now here's something that makes me very happy. This hero gains 10% damage reduction for each other living ally. So that means on a full team, 4 people, he starts off every battle, or every round rather, with 30% as long as they're alive. So versus Rayla teams, for example, you're going to go into those battles with 30% DR. If you're fighting another Skullkeeper, however, they'll have that 30% DR as well. So that's a very nice deal. Magical takes less damage from non-physical attacks. Armor takes less damage from physical attacks. Takes less damage from melee attacks. So lots of damage reduction just in his passives there. He's not a tank or slow, so he doesn't take the intense mystical damage. Armored is 25% DR from physical attacks. Flying, we all know that the flying is 25%. Mystical is 0.15 from non-physical attacks. So if you take like a arcane bolt or something like that, like a spirit attack, it's 15% less. Hardened Spirit takes less damage from AoE attacks. Now, that's great because, once again, at the very top end, once, and even at the beginning, AoE is such a big deal because it damages the entire opposing person's team. Ever since Kai's been kind of eliminated out of PvP, it's been great. It's great to see something like this because those Rayla teams have the ability to put out so much damage immediately. The Foresight Rune Rayla team. So, Mystical 3, boosted damage versus tanks and slow targets. It's very good versus like the pandas and like if you go like Grandars and stuff like that, but there's not very many used tanks, like medium speed tanks in the game at all. Every now and then you'll see a Furnace on a defense, but you just Archon those. Tempered Soul, all allies get an additional 50% chaos reduction. Once again, you're probably not going to see an entire team come and attack you with chaos runes, tainted or what have you, because shield piercing runes, foresight runes, tank runes, evasion runes are way too valuable. So this is, once again, it's nifty, it's neat, I guess. But you don't really need it. It's not like a needed thing. It's not like you should build this whole thing on Chaos Runes. Because Chaos Runes, there's an aspect of them that's nice. But when you stack them up versus like Evasion Runes or Aversion Runes or Taunt Runes or, things like that, then they start losing. They're just never quite stack up as good. Protective Tendrils. After being hit by an attack, this hero has a 20% base chance to make a basic revenge attack and debuff the attacker with Corrupted from within with 1 turn. So real quick, 2 things here. It's a base chance of 20%. So the more you increase his skill which I believe, and I've always preached, you should have at least 3K skill on every hero. Some heroes even more than that, particularly healers. But that's a base chance. The Corrupted from Within, put a thumb note in that because we're going to get that again soon pretty quick. Draconic Heirloom. At the end of the allied round, the hero makes a ranged chaos attack on all enemies who have the Doom debuff. Receive 50% more damage. Enemies who have the Doom debuff receive 50% more damage. This effect continues after the hero's death as long as their corpse is on the battlefield. So unless you're fighting a Hopper or get like Leo'd or, something like that, or pitted or what have you, that's going to keep going on. And it's a lot like the Death Blossom from MK. He just does it passively every run. There's a chance. No, actually, he will do it every run. Lastly, Blessings of the Seeker. Real quick, obviously, you see I went a lot of attack. His abilities lend to that, and then his passive abilities from reduced melee damage, reduced physical damage, reduced mystical damage, reduced AoE damage, and then the 30% DR from living allies. You can really lean on a lot of that. And that's not to include the passives you're going to get from like Rayla or Jin Lee, or like if you bring Pontifex on a team and you have like Disease on the whole other enemy team. Let's go over some of his abilities. Chaos Missile, basic range chaos attack on a single target for 561 base damage. Chaos damage is shielded and armor piercing, and it cannot be dodged or parried. It ignores the 5 elemental resistance as well as damage reduction. So this is a great ability. Can't be dodged, can't be missed, ignores elemental, what have yous. Now the thing is, it's got a low base value, but it has to have a low base value, because if it was an insane base value, you could see things get carried away. This is also where you could make an argument for warrior runes, where the 20% chance for extra basic attacks on this guy. And you could make an argument for runes that debuff, such as Disease or Burn or what have you runes, if you're into that sort of thing. But if you have like a shield piercing rune on this guy, which you don't really need because this attack is shield piercing, but if you have like warrior runes, that's possible. That's a good alternative for that too. Order from Chaos. Cleanses target ally of the Doom debuff. Then heals them for 4,731 health. Obviously, those green means they're impacted by skill. Okay, that's what the green means there. Or attack or defense, depending on the statistic. But in this case, that health, 4,731, is based on his skill. The hero then does a ranged dark attack on one random enemy for 1,402 base damage. The enemy gains Doom, a debuff that prevents the target from recovering health or being resurrected for 3 turns. So that's going to be great, especially on defense for like the perma-res teams, assuming your team survives the onslaught. But your team's going to start off with Doom, and then you can start applying it to the enemy team. And that's why this ability is such a great ability. And so we're going to dig a little bit deeper into him and see how it applies. Corrupted from Within. Ranged Spirit attack on all enemies for 701 base damage. The initial target of the ability gains Corrupted from Within for 2 turns, a debuff that reduces their attack and defense. In addition, whenever an enemy with Corrupted from Within takes damage from an attack, all their allies take 701 chaos splash damage. Targets not Corrupted from Within who take splash damage have a 15% chance to gain Corrupted from Within for 1 turn. Now, once again, this is the only ability that's a lot kind of like Furno's Wildfire. So when Furno sets someone on Wildfire, when you attack a target that has Wildfire on them, there's a chance for it to spread. Higher with skill, of course. So, by attacking a target that's Corrupted from Within, you have a chance of spreading Corrupted Within. And now if you have this on like a Grandar or a Jin Lee, and you have a dodgy Arya or what have you that you're fighting against, that splash damage is going to hit and ignore shields, all sorts of stuff. It's just a great ability. Spread around, it reduces their attack, it reduces their defense. It's just a fantastic ability. Last one, Draconic Anger. Ranged Spirit attack on all enemies for 2804 base damage. The enemies who have the Doom debuff receive additional 1402 chaos damage. All enemies gain the Doom debuff, starts powered. So, in this sense, I would say that using his third ability, which starts powered, is very important. So let's go ahead and bust this out. I'm just going to go ahead and use this team, Grandar, Lily team, Jin Lee, teams that you're going to see all the time. And I'm going to suggest, once again, that you have it very offensive, because we're going to have a lot of DR from our team here. And so here we go. I'm going to use the third first, because we're going to get Murky Shield, we're going to get Chain Lightning, we're going to get this Draconic Anger. Look at this go. Boom. Lots of damage there. All that goes down. Once again, I'm going to go right here, because I'm just going to keep on applying Doom. And then look at that. Look at that. That's just insanity. And real quick, there's that Doom debuff. Bang. It's over. So there's a really solid team. I wish he kind of had Foresight runes on Rayla, but since he didn't, that was really fast and easy. But there he goes. That's what he looks like. Really great hero. Y'all have fun experimenting. Let me know what you think.